Hello, this is Sarah with Posh Pooch Designs, and today's video, our live video chat, is all about Maximo and Rosie's birthday party. Here's Rosie. She's wearing our bandana pattern. I added a little balloon to it, and she's wearing our birthday hat. Now this is our plain birthday hat, and this is going to be a pattern tomorrow. And we'll get the video done so you can make birthday hats for your pooches. These work for kitties too. Rosie's 8 years old on her birthday. All right, I'm going to take her hat off, give her a little treat, and let her go play. Now behind me I have Maximo, and it's his birthday too. And he's wearing the same hat pattern, only I added more pom-poms and a little ruffle. Isn't he precious? He's such a good boy. And I put a little balloon button on his bandana too. And we'll go ahead and let him take his hat off. And I'm going to give him a little treat. And then I'm going to tell you all about how we're celebrating their birthday. Isn't he a good boy? All right, you two, go lay on your blanket. All right. Well, what I always do is, since we don't know for sure, good morning, Anne. Good morning, Petra. Well, since we don't know for sure when their birthday is, because they're both rescue dogs, the year that we got them, I was babysitting my niece, Jasmine, and she, I believe, oh my goodness, 6 or 7 then. I think she just turned 14. I think the mailman's bringing me yarn again. Good morning, Stacy. Good morning, Jen. Well, anyway, since we weren't sure when their birthday was, and Jasmine's birthday is March 17th, we decided to, good morning, clink in. We decided to have their birthday party every year on March 17th. And of course, it's past March 17th, but I wanted to celebrate and tell you some of the things that we do to celebrate Maximo and Rosie's birthday. And I always take a silly picture with the birthday hats. And like I said, this is a free pattern on my blog, and I'm going to do a video on this probably tomorrow or the next day. And then you can make some hats to celebrate your dog's birthday. And then I also explain to you how to adjust the size so you can make it in just about any size for any size dog. Just remember, yarn's really stretchy, so if you make it too big, it might slip off. So anyway, good morning, Karen. Good morning, Elva. How are you guys doing? Oh, spring is here, and it's wonderful, isn't it? Well, one of the things that we do when we celebrate their birthday is I make them a cake. And I wanted to show you what I use. And I've got the cake right here. Let me show you the cake. And when I was coming up the stairs, I tripped. And so there's a little bit of a break in it. But this is the cake. It's shaped like a dog bone. And how I make that is it only has 4 ingredients. And it takes oatmeal. Now make sure you get the old-fashioned oatmeal. It takes some kind of broth. You can use bone meal, chicken broth, beef broth, just a couple of tablespoons. And then you use either pumpkin or peanut butter. So you can make them in 2 flavors. And then the way it's mixed up is with 1 egg. And it's only those 4 ingredients. And that that recipe will be on the blog this afternoon so that you can make it. It's really easy. You whip the egg, put in either your pumpkin or your peanut butter, whichever flavor that you're making. Whip that. Then you add a little bit of that broth and you whip that. And then you add your oatmeal. And these are really great ingredients for dogs. The oatmeal is good for roughage and a lot of good benefits of oatmeal. The pumpkin is good also for digestive issues, and the peanut butter is a great protein. And of course, eggs are excellent for their skin and their hair and their bones and their eyes. And raw eggs, and I also boil eggs and give them to my dogs. I have a friend who has chickens, and he brings me over a dozen eggs every now and then, and oh, they are so good eggs. But anyway, that's how I make it, and I use this pan. And if you've ever heard, let me look on my notes here and make sure I say the name right. Yeah. It's called Boodle Poochie. And I ordered this pan, and it's like a plastic pan, and you can heat it up to 375 degrees. But with this recipe, I don't think it's that high. I think it's like I don't know. I have to look on the blog. The thing about the cake is you're going to put either some butter or some coconut oil in the bottom of the cake, the bottom of the pan, and then you sprinkle oatmeal in there just as a coating, and then you push. When you make this cake, it's not, you don't pour it in because it's not like a cake. It's more like a big O cookie. And you just push it down in there, and you want to let that sit for about a minute or two so that the oatmeal can soak up all the moisture, and that will make it swell up a little bit. And having that egg in there makes the cake stick together. And then you bake it, and immediately, while it's still warm, flip it out on your cooling tray. And it works great. And again, this is the cake, and you can see when I was coming up, I tripped and I hit on the side, and I am such a klutz lately. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, and I bet you're wondering what I used for frosting, because dogs are not supposed to have very much sugar. Well, what I use for frosting is Greek yogurt, and this is the one I get. It's the Chobani with the coconut in it, because coconut is really good for your dogs. Coconut oil and coconut is really good for you too. It's excellent for skin and all of your fast-growing cells. This is something I learned just going through some of the things that I've been going through, is that coconut and coconut oil is so good for your skin, your hair, your bones, your teeth, cartilage, and any of your fast-growing cells like eyelashes and skin and hair and all that. Coconut is excellent. And if you have any thyroid issues, coconut's your friend. And I just take a little bit of this, and I put it on the cake, and then I let it rest a little bit. Of course, it has to be after it's cool. And that way it kind of looks like an icing on there. Isn't that fun? And my dogs love this. Now, you can use this same recipe to make treats. And let me show you what I did. Here's the lid. Here's the treat they've been eating on. I'll move those. What I did is I used my dog bone cookie cutter. And you put it down on the cookie sheet, and then you just press it in there, and you do it exactly the same, and it makes these nice cookies. Now, if you don't have a dog bone cookie cutter, you can just make little circle mounds, or even you can also put it in a tube and cut it. It's hard to cut oatmeal. That's the only thing I found. Now, the other thing, and my dogs just love these, and these are great if your dogs have any kind of gland problems. These are excellent for them. And one of the things my vet told me is pumpkin and oatmeal are good things for dogs with gland problems. And my poor little Rosie has, some gland problems, and she's been in and out of the vet several times with issues with that. And since I incorporated pumpkin, and I just get pumpkin from the can, and then in the fall when everybody's getting rid of their pumpkins, I ask for people to give them to me, and I just cut them into thin slices, and I dehydrate them. And the dogs love them for treats. Okay, so that's how we celebrate with cookies and cake. And do you know what? You could eat these too. Just leave out that broth and add just a tiny, tiny bit of, say, an extract, like a vanilla or peppermint extract. And you could eat these too. As a matter of fact, my granddaughter did test them out, and she said they tasted interesting. But I had the chicken broth in there. And what I do as far as the broth, I just get a bouillon cube, and I put it in about a half a cup of hot water and let that just dissolve while I'm cooking everything. And then I just use my measuring cup and measure over 2 tablespoons. So anyway, that recipe for the dog cake and the dog cookies will be on the blog, and I'll post that blog later this afternoon. That way you'll have the exact temperatures, and you don't have to use a cake pan like this. You can use your round 8 or 9 inch pan. It works just fine. Or you can even do this in cupcakes. Now, they won't raise up like a cupcake does, but you'll have little portions that you can use for your dogs, especially if you have more than one dog. So that's something else that we do to celebrate Maximo and Rosie's. I call it their gotcha day because that's the day we celebrate that we got them, since we don't really know when their real birthday is. And then if you don't use the rest of your yogurt, put some berries in it, eat it yourself. All right, so don't forget tomorrow or next day I'm going to get this hat pattern out for you. The other thing I did is I went on their bandanas. Are you behind me, Rosie? Come here, sweetie. Come here, baby girl. She loves to sit behind me and curl up. And these are the bandanas that I already did. It's a free pattern. And I just found some little balloon buttons and I just sewed them right on there. And they're just adorable. My dogs love dress clothes. They love bandanas. They love the hats. They are so spoiled. I'm telling you what. All right. Come on, Max. He wants up here too. Come on. You want to show your bandana? Come here. Poor Maximo is 9 years old now, and he's having a little bit of hip problems. And his legs are little, and it hurts him a little bit to jump up. So I usually got to grab him and pull him up here. And see, I put a little bandana or a little balloon on his bandana too. Maximo is 9, and Rosie is 8, in case you're wondering. All right, you want to sit behind me too? Okay, the other thing we did yesterday, if you can see behind me right back there, are some balloons. And I have got so much stuff to show you. Here it is. This is a balloon pattern. My daughter and I got together because I wanted to do a balloon pattern, but she had already written one. I thought, well, I'll just ask her if I can use hers. And so we made a video yesterday. And on the video, I show you how to make one out of worsted weight and also one out of a chunky weight. Now, this one is 2 thicknesses. But you can use a chunky number 5, or you can do worsted weight, and it'll depend, and you make a bigger hook, and I talk about all that on the video, and make these fun balloons. These are great. Looks like a mobile back there for over baby's bed, doesn't it? These are fantastic. You can put them on a hat, on a scarf, on a bag. I guess I could have put one on the front of even Rosie's hat, and that would have been fun, huh? And the thing is, you could even make these out of like sport weight, which is a 3, and go down to a G hook and make them even a little bit smaller for an applique. And this is, you know, just by the thickness of your yarn and going up or down a hook size to match that yarn, you can really come up with some fun sizes. And in the video, I show you how to make the balloons and then how to string them up. You can see they're strung up back there. I think I got my light shining right on it. But anyway, that's a lot of fun to make, and I really enjoyed making it. My daughter, I put a little video on there that she talked about also. So that's a lot of fun. The other thing I did is I wanted to make a little blanket to put over the area where my dogs are going to sit to eat their cake. And so I made this blanket. It's just a simple rectangle granny square with a really cool peacock edge with double crochets and then the peacock in the center. It's a really simple pattern. It's on my blog and it works great. And this is a Karen cake. It's called Strawberry Kiwi and it takes 2. And so you can make this throw. I wish I could remember the measurements. It's like 30 wide by 45 wide or 42 wide. I can't remember. Come here, baby. She's whining. She wants on the chair. Come on. Come on. Oh, she's whining at me because I didn't give them a treat. Here, sweetie. There we go. Rosie loves her cookies. Let me tell you what. And she knows every time they go outside and they come back in, they think they need a cookie. And she knows. She'll go over to the door where I keep their cookies and their doggy stuff, and she'll whine and paw at that door because she knows. Anyway, I'm going to use this as the blanket to lay down where I give them their cookie. And then this is made out of a Karen cake. And it is the 80% acrylic and 20% wool. So I'm going to have to make sure that I wash it gently and hang it out, not let it go through the washer and dryer, or it'll felt on me some. All right, so that's what happened this week. We made a blanket and we made balloons. And then another thing that we're doing is we're starting to head towards, Easter since spring is here. And so I've got a couple of new projects for you that we did. We did the bunnies. And these can be appliques, or you can, this one's made out of cotton, and you can set your cup on it, and it makes a nice coaster to keep your cup from sweating on your stuff. And these are a lot of fun. And someone was teasing me about the ears being too short, that they looked like little, I forgot the word, groundhog? I can't remember what he said. Oh, no, gerbils. He said it looked like a gerbil. It's okay. Just make the ears longer. I made it a little bit longer on the demo. You can see the ears are just a little bit longer. It's just a matter of chaining a few more. And they're a lot of fun to make. And these are great. You can stick them on the front of a Easter basket or, you know, decoration or whatever. These would be great on one of those Easter wreaths, and you can hook them on the Easter wreath. It's okay, Rosie. We always have lots of people drive by, and so she's going to bark at everybody who drives by. So we did the Easter bunnies, and then we did the Easter pouch or the carrot pouch. And this is so much fun because it's just a pouch. And you can stuff it and use it like if your kids have a play kitchen or something, you can use it for that. Or you can fill it full of Easter candy. The only thing I suggest is that if you fill it full of Easter candy, use the candy that's already pre-wrapped. You'll end up with less stickiness. You don't want like jelly beans getting wet and sticky because, you know, kids, they put it in their mouth and, you know. And then, of course, make sure the tie on it isn't too long that they can, especially if you're going to give it to the little kids, that they can get it tied around their neck. You want to make sure that you can just tie it in a bow. And that's a lot of fun. You can stuff it with, like I said, polyester fiber fill, or put a bottle of perfume in it, or something that you're going to buy for someone for, oh, you know, something that fits great in these are those Pez. Those fit great. You can slide it right down inside, and you can put some candy in the bottom to fill it up. Anyway, lots of neat ideas for those. And then the thing that we're going to do tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow, Monday, between tomorrow and Monday, is this Easter basket. And this is made out of the new Red Heart. It's called Soft Essentials. And this is fantastic yarn. And it holds its shape really well. It's a chunky number 5. And it has the shine, see if you can see that, and the texture of like a Simply Soft. Only it's a little more sturdy and it's not splitty. You know, Simply Soft kind of gets splitty when you're trying to work with it. This is not like that. It's spun a little tighter, but it's a chunky number 5, and it just works up beautifully. There's the front. Isn't that a cute Easter bunny? I thought that was adorable. Anyway, and this is just a small basket, and it makes a great decoration or whatever, you know, you want to use it for. I've got balls of yarn in mine. It's the leftover yarn. And it doesn't take very much, and you don't have to use this particular yarn. I just really have fallen in love with this yarn because it is so soft and it has such a pretty shine to it, and it just makes really neat. Like, to me, you can make an Easter basket, say, out of yellow or something, and it's cute. But this yarn gives it a little bit of classiness to me because it just has such a pretty shine and texture, and it holds its shape really well. And so this is a basket. The pattern is already on my blog. We'll hope to get that video done in the next day or two. So we have lots of new projects to go through from today through Monday. And I'm trying to, excuse me, I'm trying to get a lot of things done. Someone said to me the other day, a really sweet lady that follows me, she said, Sarah, you need to slow down. You're getting too much stuff done too fast. And so let me explain to you what's been kind of going on. I'm trying to go through a lot of my older patterns. I mean, I started writing patterns about 9 years ago, and I'm going through a lot of those older ones, and I'm trying to add more details and make sure, and retesting and making sure the wording's good. I found some of the silliest errors. If I told you some of the misspelled words that my spell check changed them to, you would just crack up. And some of them were even words I don't say. So it was kind of funny. I had someone contact me and said, did you mean to use this word? I'm like, no, let me change it right now. So anyway, I'm trying to go through a lot of those older patterns. And I'm also, some of my older patterns have yarns that are discontinued. And so I'm trying to use some more new or modern yarns that are good substitutions, because some people may still have some of those older yarns in their yarn stash. You know, I probably do. But there's so much new and fun yarns out there. So I'm trying to take some of those newer yarns that are the same weight as, and you know, that will work for the same pattern, so that people can have some more options on some of those patterns. And then the other thing is as we're retesting and updating pictures and things like that, I'm doing some videos as well on those. Now, I know my video style is different. It's not what everybody is used to. And that's why I like it, because I have always been someone who does not follow the crowd. I do my own thing. And I have lots of fun doing it. The whole purpose of starting my YouTube channel was because I wanted to bring in a little bit of extra cash to help take care of my dog's veterinary bills, because as they're aging, they're getting more and more issues. And because they are rescue dogs, they have some other issues. And so that just brings in just a little bit of, cash to help pay for those vet bills and needs. And that's why I started it, for one reason. The second reason is it's so much fun. I have met some of the best people and some of the nicest people on YouTube. I met a wonderful lady yesterday. She has a gorgeous accent. She sounds like she's from South Africa. And she's got a wonderful voice, kind of mellow, and the words just roll off. And she contacted me and said, I'm just looking for some hints. And so I felt like I made a brand new friend yesterday. It's the neatest thing, because crochet is, universal. Everybody can crochet. Not everybody, but you certainly can learn in lots of different ways. Some people are artsy, some people are technical, and some people are visual. And so it's been a lot of fun getting to know some different people. And like I said, my style is probably not for everybody, because I don't want it to be boring. I want it to be fun. I film from all different angles. I do lots of different things. I do dog things and people things and weird things and fun things, just whatever. One of the funniest things ever is I had made, the scissors pouch crochet pattern. And this lady messages me. She goes, "Why would I need this?" And I thought, well, let me tell you. And so I gave her a long list of how I love mine and everything. And it turned into a friendship, because she's like, "Oh, okay." And I think, she was trying to be a little bit snarky. And because I was kind and nice, and that's the way we need to address these things, is kind and nice and thoughtful and thankful. Because she found my video. She didn't think she needed it. And then she realized she did. And then I made a friend out of it. So, it's up to us. What is it I always say? In a world where you can be anything, choose to be kind. That's the thing. And it's amazing how even at Walmart, you're going through the line with a big pile of yarn, and the lady in front of you cuts you off because you don't see her because you're holding a big, thing of yarn. And she cuts you off. Rather than being, "Hey, you cut me off," say, "Oh, go right ahead." Believe me, there have been times I've been in a hurry and I didn't want to say that. But why get mad? Life's too short to live it grumpy. So anyway, back to why I'm doing so many so quickly. I'm having some health issues, and I'm hoping to get as much of this stuff done and updated before I have any more procedures. Basically is what I'm trying to say. And I want to have a lot of stuff out there for you to do. And I don't want it all to be crochet. And I'm having a lot of fun with the polymer clay and some of the other crafts that but blend in with things that we can do with crochet, like making the buttons. I've got this neat one I want to try. I have a stitch marker tutorial that I've been working on with polymer clay, and I don't like it. And so I'm going to rework that one. And then I have another one where you take a key ring and you're crocheting the key ring, and then you make the beads with polymer clay, and you put those on the key ring, and it's really fun. And I've got that idea. I've even got an idea of how to make a head for, like, when you do displays and you want to put a hat on it, and how to make it in different sizes, but it's not crochet, and I'm not going to tell you how I do it. So, I've got a lot of fun things like that planned, and I hope that I can get a lot of this stuff done in the near future. And anyway, so that's why I'm pressing really hard to get a lot of things accomplished. I love what I do. I don't mind the negativity with other people, because I just let it roll off, and I just have a lot of fun, because that's what my YouTube channel needs to be. It needs to be fun. And I have to tell you, the week that I had my biopsy and I didn't have my live video chat, I felt like I missed out on talking with my friends, because I love that you all come and watch, and I hope that you learn a few things, and I hope you'll laugh at me because I am silly. I am a klutz. I fell down Saturday afternoon. I had waxed my kitchen floor, and I had my socks on, and I went walking in there and went boom, right on my butt. That's how klutzy I am. So I told my husband, I said, I tried to ice skate in the kitchen. I'm not any good at it. So I hope, oh, the last thing I wanted to say is I love for you all to say where you're from. And I don't mean your address or anything like that, but you're like me. I'm Sarah from Colorado, and I love living here. And I like to know where you're all from because I love it when people say, I'm from Australia, or I'm from Africa, or I'm from England, or wherever. I think that is just the coolest thing, to know that people from all over the world are tuning in and laughing at me. You got to laugh at yourself. You really, really do. What is it they say? If you can't laugh at yourself, I'll come over and laugh at you. All right. Now, one more thing before I go is, I'm going to pop on my glasses so I can read this, is I was doing a little thinking. Oh, I hate it when it glares up like that. There we go. I was doing a little thinking about the benefits of having dogs. Because I have a lot of friends that have dogs, but I don't have a lot of friends that have cats. And I had a cat growing up. I loved her. Her name was Edith. She was part Siamese. She had a green eye and a blue eye. And let me tell you, she had the voice of a Siamese cat, but she was sweet. So anyway, back to the benefits of having dogs. All right, so the first benefit of having a dog is exercise, because you have to walk them. And they can't walk themselves, so you walk them. The second benefit of having a dog is companionship. They're always there with you. They're loyal. They love you. Another benefit of having a dog is your social life. How many times have you gone walking at the dog park or at the local park or just around your neighborhood and people come up and talk to you? Because dogs love people. Except for my Rosie. She thinks she's a person. She loves people. She doesn't care for dogs. But it'll help you with your social life. So if you're looking for a mate, take your dog to the park. Another really great benefit is that dogs will help you with anxiety and depression. And I think, this is just my own thinking, but I think that they can help you because when you have anxiety and depression and you're thinking about the dog and you're thinking, oh, I don't want them to feel uncomfortable. I don't want them to feel stressed. And so your brain kind of gets on them as well. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when you're by yourself, you're scared. But when you're with your dog's going to take care of you and you're not as scared. And that's another thing, is a dog will help keep you safe. The last thing to know, the best thing about my dogs is their built-in doorbells. Before anyone even gets to my door, they are barking like crazy. So anyway, those are some fun benefits of having a dog. I think every child and every person ought to have at least one dog, if not 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. And I would have more if my husband would allow it, but the two, they're kind of expensive, so. One thing I was at the dog park, and a lady had a ribbon on her dog's leash. And no, I wasn't at the dog park. I was at downtown at the park here in Parker. Anyway, she had a ribbon on her leash, and so I asked her. It had some words on it. I said, "What does it say?" And she said, "It just says to back off because he's a rescue, and I don't know how he's going to act with kids and stuff." And that's a really good thing. And one thing I have found, because my dogs are Chihuahuas and they're small, that kids come running up to them and want to pet them. So I really want to encourage you, if you have children, it's always a good idea to have them walk over and ask the owner first if they can pet your dog. Because my dogs, they like people. That's not going to be a problem. But if someone comes running up to them, it might scare them, and they might react in a way that you don't want them to. Oh, it would just break my heart if my dogs ever hurt or bit anyone. It would just break my heart. So, and I really wouldn't want any of that to happen. So that is our live video today. I know I've chatted quite a bit. I love my dogs. I love crochet. I love yarn. So, remember I said I couldn't find my my Posh Pooch Designs mug? Well, I have not found it yet, but I bought a nice big one. And it says Chihuahua on it. I got it at PetSmart. So if you want, and they have all different breeds. If you have a dog specifically you're looking for, and it was like $7.99 or $9.99, so it's not going to break the bank. A little more than what I usually pay for a mug, but I gotta have a mug, right? So I love coffee cups too. So that's our live video chat today, and like I said, I will put the blog that has the recipe for the dog cake and cookie on my Facebook this afternoon, and hopefully I can get that finished for you so you can see it. And on that blog, I'll have the latest links for new patterns too. Well, thanks for chatting with me today. You all make my week every week when I see your names scroll up and down there at Who's Here, and I'm so glad you took the time to chat with me. Have a wonderful week.